Everyone believes Vecna is the final enemy in the show, but this hidden detail proves it's wrong. In episode 5, Lucas comes up with a plan to connect Will to Vecna by heating up the dead Demogorgon. The plan works, and Will is pulled inside Vecna's mind, where he gets crucial information. But after Will gets into Vecna's mind, something strange happens. Will falls unconscious as Vecna tells him to get out. Robin immediately turns the crank, increasing the voltage and killing the Demogorgon. At that moment, dark particles burst out from its mouth and rise into the air, and this reveals something important. The exact same dark particles also appear after Holly escaped from Vecna's mind. This means the particles exist inside every being Vecna controls, not just humans but Demogorgons too. But here's where it gets even stranger. Holly isn't the only one who releases those dark particles from her mouth. Will does the same thing back in season 2 when he's possessed by the Mind Flayer. And those particles look exactly like the Mind Flayer in its particle form. So could this mean that the Mind Flayer has been the one possessing everyone this entire time, and that Vecna is just another of his victims? But if you think this proof isn't enough to say the Mind Flayer is the real enemy, just wait, because the next detail makes it impossible to deny. In episode 6, when Max and Holly escape from Vecna's mind, we briefly see another memory hidden deep underground in Henry's past. In that scene, Henry is shot in the hand by a man carrying a briefcase. But things get crazy right after that. Henry fights back, hits the man with a rock, and kills him. Then he opens the briefcase, but just as Holly is about to see what's inside, Max suddenly calls her, and what's inside is still a mystery. But there's something important many people missed. If you look closely at the open briefcase, you can see a strange gas coming out. It looks cold and almost freezing. So what was actually inside the briefcase? Just wait for it. Back in season 2, when Will is possessed by the Mind Flayer, he says that he likes it cold. That line directly refers to the Mind Flayer's nature. So could the Mind Flayer particle form have been inside that briefcase, and could that moment be the real origin of Henry's powers? Comment below if you believe this theory is true. But besides the Mind Flayer, there are other details that reveal even more than you think. At the beginning of episode 7, we see Max finally return to her body after escaping Vecna's mind with Holly. When she wakes up, she can barely move her body, but she can clearly see. But this is where things get strange. We all remember what happened at the end of season 4. Max becomes the bait in the plan to kill Vecna and nearly dies. Vecna lifts her body, breaks her arms and legs, and her eyes go blind for a moment before she falls into a coma. So how is she suddenly able to see? Through the series, whenever someone is possessed by Vecna, their eyes turn white, just like Will and the kids who were kidnapped by him. This was a hint that Max isn't truly blind. Instead, her vision is somewhere else, separated from her body. And that's not all. Every Vecna's victims in season 4 dies, except Max and Vecna's dad, Victor Creel. Victor is blind, but not because of Vecna. He loses his sight later after he's stabbing himself in prison. This means Vecna never actually leaves his victims blind. Max was saved at the very last moment, which is why she didn't lose her sight. So did you notice that Max in season 5 suddenly isn't blind anymore? Make sure to share it in the comments. For now, it seems that there is always a reason behind details that look like mistakes. But how do you explain the next moment? In episode 6, we all remember how Lucas is chased by Demogorgons while carrying Max. Along with Robin and Vicky, they run and hide in the basement. But right before the Demogorgons see them, something strange happens. The noise comes from an oxygen tank inside a laundry machine that suddenly distracts the Demogorgons. And when the Demogorgon approaches, it explodes and killing them, which turns out to be all part of Karen's plan. Everyone is saved, but something feels weird. Karen never knew about the Demogorgons before. The only time she fought one was when it chased Holly inside their house. And back then, she doesn't know anything about this creature's weakness. But in the hospital, she reacts instantly and uses an explosive to kill all 3. So how did Karen know that fire can kill Demogorgons? Comment below with your theory. And let's move on to the next strange detail about Kali, or number 8, who mysteriously returns this season. In Season 5, Volume 2, we finally learn how Kali was captured by the military. Kali appears in several scenes, and her past is explained more clearly. But there's something many people didn't notice. Back in Season 2, Kali had a British accent, even if it wasn't very strong. But now she speaks with a clear American accent. And that doesn't make sense. In the show, there's only a 3-year gap between Season 2 and Season 5. So how can Kali's accent change so fast? The strangest thing is that Kali can make anyone near her see whatever she wants. She even managed to do this from far away when Eleven rescued her. So how is it possible that she never used her powers to escape all this time? Is this really the same Kali that Eleven met before, or could someone else with powers be pretending to be her? And Kali's secret doesn't stop here. There's something much darker about her. We all know Callie mysteriously returns in Season 5 to help Eleven and the team to defeat Vecna. But here's something many people didn't notice. When Eleven is alone with Callie in the Upside Down, Callie says she knows everything about Henry, except if he's still alive. Yet despite knowing so much, she never shares any clues about Henry with the rest of the group. And this is where it gets strange. Throughout these episodes, Callie keeps telling Eleven that they should sacrifice their lives together. She wants to make sure no one can ever create people with powers like them again. But what if the sacrifice isn't about saving the world? What if Callie is manipulating Eleven? Because Eleven is the only one who can defeat Vecna. Callie seems suspicious and isn't really helpful in these recent episodes, but she might play a crucial role or even betray Eleven in the final battle. And while we wait for the finale episode to release, there's another crazy detail you need to know. Did you notice Vecna's lair is actually inside a body? In Volume 2, we finally learn that the kids weren't kidnapped into the Upside Down. They were taken into the Abyss. That's why no one was ever able to find them, not even Eleven. But there's something weird about this place. After Max and Holly escape Vecna's mind, Holly wakes up inside Vecna's lair. And the place where the kids are held doesn't look like a building at all. It looks more like a giant hand with many fingers. And there's something even crazier. Inside the lair, you can see shapes that look like teeth on the floor and the ceiling. And the way Holly escapes feels exactly like coming out of a mouth. So what if the place where the kids were kidnapped isn't just a lair at all, but a massive living creature? Don't forget to share your versions in the comments below. Now let's check the next strange detail you definitely missed while watching Season 5. In Volume 2, Max finally escapes Vecna's mind and reunites with the others. But this is something many people missed. Max has been unconscious for nearly 2 years. During that time, Hopper returned to Hawkins and surprised everyone, especially Eleven, by revealing that he was still alive. But when Max wakes up and meets Hopper, she isn't surprised at all. And that's strange. The last thing Max knew was that Hopper sacrificed himself in Russian lab, so seeing him alive should have been a huge shock. Yet she shows no reaction, no confusion, no questions, nothing. So is it a mistake in the show, or did Max already know Hopper was alive? Share your theory in the comments, and get ready for the next detail because it reveals one of the craziest secrets about Henry's childhood. When Max and Holly escape from Vecna's mind, they uncover a hidden memory from Henry's childhood. In that scene, we see young Henry wearing a scout uniform, but there's something important you missed. On Henry's sleeve, there's a number 1106. That number shows a date November 6th, and it's no secret that November 6th is a crucial date in Stranger Things. It's the day Will goes missing, the day Henry kills his family, the day of Henry's school play, and even when the final battle takes place. But here's where it gets interesting. This memory takes place before the first known November 6th tragedy, before Henry kills his family in 1959. That means the disaster at the Creel house had been planned long before it ever happened. And since that date is written on Henry's sleeve, it feels more like a meaningful day to him. But if November 6th is important to Henry, why do the worst tragedies always happen on that exact day? Welcome to the comments for discussion.